One of the responsibilities of the Scrum Master is helping the Scrum team focus on creating high-value increments that meets the definition of done. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, as an aspiring Scrum Master or even as a working Scrum Master, how do I ensure that my Scrum team is focusing on the most important thing at every point in time? And how do I ensure that whatever they're focusing on actually meets the definition of done? In today's video, I'm going to be sharing things that you need to focus on so that you're helping your team focus on what truly matters. One of the things you need to focus on as a Scrum Master is to ensure that your team has clarity when it comes to the definition of done. Does your team even have a definition of done? And if they do, does the entire team have clarity on what that means? Does the entire team agree on the statements in your definition of done? Because the definition of done is something that the entire team needs to agree on, and those are the things that they need to work with so that when they are done with their task and their stories, they all understand that this work is done because it meets the criteria in our definition of done. So if you want your team to focus on building high quality work that meets the definition of done, they need to have a definition of done. They need to have clarity on what that means, and they need to work based on the requirements on that definition of done. Now, as a Scrum Master, if you want your team to focus on creating high value increments, it's very important that you actually foster that collaborative environment for them where they're able to feel responsible for the success of the work that they're building. There are some teams that don't feel responsible for the success of the work they're doing, and so they care less because the responsibility does not really fall on them. So as a Scrum Master, you have to ensure that you're building that environment where everyone understands that every part and piece that you build actually adds to the success of the work that we're doing. So you're very important and your inputs are needed and you own this work. Let them understand what it means to own the work, own the success of the work that they're building. Let them understand what it means to work together as a team. Ensure that everybody's voice is heard. So when people bring out suggestions, on a different path to work, make sure that you hear it. Make sure that every member of that team feels welcome. Everybody's point is heard. Everybody's point is discussed, and we're able to agree on the best way to work. Now, as a Scrum Master, if you want to ensure that your team is building high value increment, it is very important that you facilitate effective sprint planning. If the team does not plan well, guess what? They're not going to finish well because their plan is the tactic and strategy through which they're going to accomplish their sprint goal. So if they don't have an effective sprint planning session, how are they going to get to the finish line? So it's very important as a Scrum Master that they are planning effectively. You have to take into consideration the capacity of the team. You have to take into consideration the velocity of the team. You have to ensure that the entire team understands the work to be done. You have to ensure that they try their best to estimate based on the understanding of the work that needs to be done so that way they're able to complete what they commit to. It's important, and it starts with how the team plans. So you have a part to play in ensuring that your team is successful and they build high quality work, and it starts with the way they plan. In order for your Scrum team to be able to create high value increment, it's very important for you as a Scrum Master to ensure that every impediment is removed as quickly as possible, because an impediment is anything that will disrupt your team from completing their task. So as a Scrum Master, it is your job to get rid of impediments as often and as soon as they get up. So make sure that you're on top of those impediments so that your team members are not delayed and so that they can focus on the work that needs to be done for that iteration. So make sure that you're on top of your game when it comes to removing impediments if you want your team to focus on creating high value increments that meets the definition of done. Also, another thing you need to focus on is to ensure that you are monitoring the progress of the work. And that's why we have things like burn down charts, where on a day-to-day basis, you can see the progress that your team is making. You can communicate that progress to your team, and that will guide your team as they work and plan on a day-to-day basis. So monitoring is very important because whatever you don't monitor, you can't expect it to survive. You can't expect it to succeed because you're not monitoring it. You don't know whether you're on track. You don't know whether you're behind. You don't know what is going on. So it's important for you as a Scrum Master to monitor the progress of the team. That's the only way you will get them to stay focused on the work, which meets the definition of done, and which is high value work that the stakeholders are expecting from us. Now, it's also very important as a Scrum Master that you're promoting technical excellence. It's very important that your team is keeping up to date when it comes to the best trends in everything software development if you're dealing with a software team. Now, regardless of the team that you might be working with, every industry has best practices. Every industry has, newer trends that you need to keep yourself updated with. So make sure that your team, when it comes to technical excellence, when it comes to the best way they should be working based on their industry, they are aware. Encourage things like lunch and learns, where different people within the organization can come and train your team so they can improve the quality of the work that they're building on a sprint by sprint basis. Now, another strategy when it comes to helping your team actually focus on high value work that meets the definition of done is to ensure that you make your team reflect and adapt on a regular basis. We have a sprint retrospective, which remains one of the best forums for us to actually reflect on our sprint, discuss what's going on well as a team, what we should stop doing, what we should start doing, how we can work differently, what processes are working for us, how are we collaborating as a team. That is a good forum. And so it's very essential as a Scrum Master that you're making good use of that time to draw out the best of your team. And more importantly, whatever action item comes out of that meeting, make sure you implement on those action items. Make sure that your team is adapting to those new behaviors that they've committed to during those forums. So it's very important that you're on top of your team when it comes to how they reflect on the work, when they come up with suggestions on better ways to work, and how they're adapting to those new suggestions that they've made. These are the strategies that will help your team stay focused on building high quality increments that meets the definition of done. And this is the whole purpose of agility in the first place, because at the end of the day, we want to stay focused on the work, building the right products for our customers. So it's very important that as a Scrum Master, if you want your team to focus on what really matters, you employ some of the strategies and begin to track the changes as it happens within your team. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe, and watch out for my next video. Thank you very much. I can't wait to catch you on my next episode. Bye for now.